just can't do, you gotta start spraying then. So usually it's the second week of June when it picks up on the threshold that we got to kind of get up and go. You know, it used to be right around, exactly around the 4th of July, 7 or 8 years ago. And that's changed, it's backed up. It's like the second week of June that it starts where we have to pick up. Now we do spray, and we sprayed here some in the month of May. We're ready to go in April though. Right. So if things get out of hand or we got something comes about, and sometimes that happens, you get a rain in for whatever reason, it's one species of mosquito that I keep talking about, the Serophora may come off, and they're pretty easy to kill, and it may happen, it could happen in early May even, just depends.
Next question is, do you spray the same thing from the airplane that they're putting out in the truck?
Just depends. Depends on what we've been spraying, how we need to swap the chemicals around.
Is it hazardous to humans?
Absolutely not.
Okay, my next question is, why do they shut it off when they go down the road and you're out in the yard?
Out of respect.
I'll go in the house if I don't want to go in there.
Some people want that, but some people, if you spray them, they'll be coming to see all of y'all.
That'll be fine.
They should be smart enough to go in the house if they don't want to get on them.
I can't, I am a little hush.
Well, I don't want them to shut it off.
Understand.
When I'm in the yard and he shuts it off, it aggravates me because I'm paying on 2 different properties and I won't take
You know how you
up
fix
at my
that?
house.
Here's how to solve that. It's hard for us to keep up with every individual's addresses and stuff, but happily, call the office.
10-4.
And I can promise you, they will jump on it. You have the office
Well, no, I'll get it, but I stopped the truck and asked him, and he said they're not allowed to. I was like, look, I'll go in the house if I don't want to get it on with spray. I'm paying for it.
Well, everybody's trained not to be respectful of folks and not just soak them down with chemicals. You know, they are trained to do that.
I can understand that.
But I live on the behind.
We call them, and we'll come out, they'll drive all into your yard if you want them to.
I don't want to drive it in my yard, but
Well, then you can drive.
y'all actually have to come out before I'm calling you back up there and straight.
Yeah, just let us know. That's what we're here for, you know?
I'll call, I'll give you a call. Our street don't care. We want it sprayed.
Okay.
We take the children in when we see the truck.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for having me. I appreciate y'all, and I'll drop them cards right here.
I'm sorry I dropped that on you. Any other public comment? 3?
Been a public meeting to discuss the trash problem and the litter problem in Kennett. Gathered some pretty good ideas, I thought. In the process of that, my feeling the crowd out, especially the council, I thought perhaps we'd reach kind of a consensus that the local guy wasn't going to be in danger of being put out of business. What happened in Portersville last night was that 3 city employees, I don't know that they lost their job, but they're being reassigned, and there's a lot of passion in the room that you're probably not going to get from the city clerk. She's just going to tell you, Sharp's Disposal made the winning bid. One carrier for a city that's going to be just as trashy as ours after they have done it for a year, whatever, the same as it is now. So if we're trying to solve the litter problem, I got to tell you, the stress level in my life is high because I don't have, there's no way to vote and have everybody consent that the little guy's not going to take it in the short hair. Imagine, of course, Steve, this is a bad example because you got so many irons in the fire, you got money coming in from everywhere.
And going out too.
And going out. But imagine all you had was greasing and there was a city council meeting that said, we're going to pick one city restaurant. God, I hope your food is really good, otherwise you're out of business.
I understand.
I need some reassurances, or I need, if I can't get those reassurances, I need to start taking some action to protect myself in the future. I don't know how you do that. If you want to call me later, it's not something you can do publicly on the record, but it's horrifying to me to think that we're going to call Portersville and they're going to say, yeah, we got a really good bid from them and we open this back up and we have one carrier, which is not going to solve the problem that we originally had the public meeting for anyway, which is the litter issue and the property issue. It's not going to fix it. It's not. there's some good ideas. I was gonna reiterate those tonight, but after the mayor mentioned Porterville, I thought I needed to get up and say, Marco can tell you, he was also there. There was a lot of passion in the room, and that's what's gonna happen if this council brings that to issue here. But you're not gonna be reassigning 3 city employees who will no longer be doing trash. You're gonna be bankrupting me and dismissing 12 and 15 employees that I have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I would implore you, if you can reach out and assure me, maybe there's no assuring, maybe I just gotta take my chances, I don't know. Or come up with a really swell bid, which I hope I can do that. I would like to go over the stuff that I threw together and reviewing the ideas that we've seen. Sole carrier was the first choice, and I was gonna say the one big minus is that we could hurt the little guy. The next was the wards, doing it, separating what currently is in place, but doing it by wards. I know that solves another problem, which is the truck traffic, and it minimizes that. But I think if you're gonna look at it really closely, you're gonna realize that, as Mr. Bill said last week, you know, if you hate friendly waste, you end up in a friendly waste ward, then it's just your job as a citizen to accept that. It'd be really nice if we weren't human beings. And here's the other problem. If, God forbid, sharps or friendly waste, we divvied up the wards and we went through a spell of truck issues, which again, anybody in trucking can tell you, you can have 4 good trucks at the start of the day and 0 at the end. So now what happens if friendly waste has a truck apocalypse, for lack of a sillier term, and Scott Hunter's trash is not getting picked up? You all know how uptight and angry and mean he is. Suddenly, he's not pleased with my service, but he's stuck with me because he's in my ward. Well, now we've eliminated free market and capitalism as we know it.
Agreed.
So it's a bad idea in a whole lot of ways. And the truck traffic thing that we're so hung up on, we're forgetting that there are buses and city vehicles and FedEx and UPS, and so you're gonna limit our possibilities because we're so worried about cutting down on another trash truck going down the same road. I would go back to, it doesn't have to be me, it would have to be a bid. But I think there's a lot of merit to the litter team, for putting a bid out and employing somebody, whoever it would be. That's a great thing. That doesn't even have to be a trash company. It can be anybody with some innovation who create a team of people who clean up the city. I know that we mentioned the fact that it's very specific because you're cleaning up somebody else's property, but if you semantically just consider it beautification. I know if I lived next door to somebody who had knucklehead vendors that trashed the property, even though I wouldn't be directly involved, my proximity to that property being cleaned up, well, aren't we all kind of proximate to each other in this little town of ours? I think there's a way to kind of squint and call it beneficial to everybody to have properties cleaned up. And there's unlimited possibilities to hiring a group of people to do that. That's all they do. And it costs the city nothing. In fact, it would benefit the city because if we get to the point where you had to call in the team and they cleaned the property up, I think somebody mentioned that company, whoever it might be, would carry a lien, and that lien wouldn't be dismissed. And utilities, we work in conjunction with CLGW, and utilities wouldn't be turned on this property until the owner or the tenant settled that lien. Or the owner or tenant dealt with the problem themselves and didn't have to get that team involved. My apologies for the panicky sound. It's a big deal. It's
Your livelihood.
yeah, and I keep coming to these meetings thinking somebody's going to say, let's table this for a year, or let's come up with some ideas. But I keep coming, and we keep inching toward, maybe we do want a single carrier. So I need some reassurances, or I need to know that we're going to consider that possibility so that I can make some decisions.
My opinion, Mr. Wheeler, I do not want a single carrier that will put anyone out of business. That
I'll agree with that.
that is my personal opinion. I will not vote for a single carrier that will put any one company out of business.
It's not gonna solve our bigger problem.
And that's why the board thing came up, to try to, if we can get more than one carrier to work.
And then we put to a vote several years ago, and the city voted it down anyway. So, I'm only one vote on this council, and I don't have a gun big enough to cover them all, but that's the way I would want it anyway, and throw it out to the people of Kennett and see what they want.
We did that.
And it was voted down. I don't foresee the city of Kennett voting it in. But I've been wrong at least one time in my life.
I won't tell Aaron you said that.
That was what him, I was wrong.
Thank you, John.
Okay. Can this be put on the radio?
What?
My next announcement is gonna be a public safety announcement.
Bro, give me one minute. Hang on. Hang on, because I turned it off, because I'm running out of battery. You guys go too long.
You got a phone?
I don't use a phone, what are you talking about? 63 years old, I don't use phones. Okay, go ahead,
You're an
brother.
old man.
All right. Everybody knows school's gonna start the 22nd in Kennett, which means there's gonna be a lot of buses out on the roads, more traffic. Stop arms and red lights flashing on a bus are not a suggestion. They are to stop, which means children are in the area. So please, pay attention, stop, and let's keep our children safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
That's a fire.
Anyone else? 3, 2, motion to go into closed session. Amen. With a 5-minute break?
Yes. 3 minutes break.